All right. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good to see everybody again. Really excited to jump on in with our Pax8 Microsoft monthly update. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a lot of content, but do remember that all of this will be available on Academy afterwards. So don't worry. Make sure you're ready to take in all the content, but it will be available later to you as well if you don't grab everything that you need. First, let's go through this table of contents because there's a lot of stuff that we want to cover. I'm going to go through some really quick introductions. We've got some program updates. We're going to talk GCC. Now that's specific to the US, just want to call that out, but Joshua will come in, he'll cover all of that for you. After that, we're going to go to security in Microsoft 365 Business Premium. There's such a big push to business premium right now. I know people are working to get AI ready. This is part of it. So Britton's going to take us through that. Last but not least, we're going to have Vandit, and he's going to go through all of our Microsoft enablement and different paths, how we've condensed it all. He's got a ton of stuff he's really excited to show you. All right, on the back end, I know we talked about a few of these people. So you've got me, I am Kristen Fehrenbach. I am your Senior Director of Microsoft Go-to-Market on our corporate team here at Pax8. Miss Ashley Moretti, I think, is the only one I didn't call out, but she's going to be covering program updates. And then the following we have chatted through already. So really excited to get started this morning. And first up, we've got Ashley. Thanks for jumping on, Ash.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I'm glad that you all could join us today. Thanks, Kristen, for the introduction. How dare you miss me on the opening slide? I thought we were better friends than that. Just kidding. You wanted me to introduce myself because there's so much coming down the plate, isn't there?
There's a ton. That's why I was like, I feel like you don't even need an introduction at this point, Ash. So what do you have for us today?
Yeah, so give me just a quick moment. I'm going to take over the screen share. And it looks like we're all good. So we've got a lot going on for everybody. And if you're not familiar with myself or my team, my name is Ashley Moretti. I'm the Director of Microsoft Programs on our corporate team here. So myself and my team make sure that partners in every region, so no matter where you're sitting today and where you're selling, know what's going on with the Microsoft Partner Program and are set up for success when it comes to the recent changes that Microsoft puts out. And so we're going to jump in today. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to cover, but I do want to call out that everything I'm talking about today is going to be included in our newsletter. If you are not familiar with the newsletter, it's something that my team puts out every month. And I think we're going to drop some links in the chat here. There's one broken down by currency, so our main currency. So look for yours as a US one, a Canada one, a UK one, a GBP, which really does encompass all of Europe. And then there is a Australian one that gives you information for the APAC region. So that's Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. So check that out. And like I said, everything's in there. So if you are like, hey, what did she just say? I missed it. Where do I find that information? Don't worry. No need to Google. We make it really easy and simple for our partners. So we're going to jump on in. This is the biggest one that I'm most excited to share with you guys today. Everybody's been asking what's happening with Microsoft's CSP benefits program. So this is that incentives and rebates program. We know that a lot of you last year provided feedback that earning a solutions designation was very difficult and that you were no longer eligible for incentives and rebates just based on the size of your business and the customer base that you sell into. So on September 1st, which was just a few days ago, Microsoft released their program guide for the FY24 year. So that's October 1st. So, a few short weeks from now through September 30th of next year. And in this guide for the incentives and rebates specifically, the following changes are highlighted in this like blue-green color. So you have to be enrolled in the Microsoft Commerce Incentive Program in order to earn incentives and rebates. Partners must meet $25,000 in revenue in a trailing 12-month period for the transacting partner of record. So this is not $25,000 per month. This is in a 12-month period. You must be selling more than $25,000 in revenue, and that's across all cloud workloads. So not specific to one. You either need to earn one of 6 solution partner designations. Each workload, so Azure, Security, Monowork, Dynamics, etc., all have their own requirements as to what solution designation applies to earn incentives and rebates in that workload or that category. Or, and this is the most exciting thing, you can earn one of 9 legacy competencies. So you heard that right. I did say that. Microsoft did bring back the legacy competencies. Now, not all 18 of them do qualify, but there are 9 that do qualify. And again, each workload has its own requirement. So just because you earn one of the 9 that are eligible does not mean that it covers all categories. So check out, please, that newsletter, because it has a breakdown of each category and what solution designations or legacies apply to each workload. But this is something new. And remember, if you get that legacy competency before September 30th of this year, then you'll start earning as of October 1st. The incentives and rebates will still be paid out on a 60-40 split, so 60% rebate, 40% co-op fund that can be claimed for each half, so that hasn't changed, but still important to note. And then co-op funds that are earned from legacy CSP incentives, so that's if you have any public sector products that are still earning those CSP legacy incentives. Those that were earned for the last half, January through June 2023, will be migrated to over to the MCI program. So you should have gotten an email in Partner Center if it's over 10K, and those will be available for use for July through December 2023. And then additionally, going forward, those incentives that are earned in that CSP legacy program, so again, those public sector products, they will also be accrued under MCI. So a big change, but it just makes it easier for you to claim those funds back at the end of the half. So again, a lot of information here, a lot of changes, some important ones to pay attention to. So please just go click on that newsletter link. And like I said, we break it out by each workload and really just make it easy for you to understand. And then also there's a link to the incentives guide in there as well. And I'm sure there's questions coming in. I will get to those afterwards, but there are some people on the team here who may also jump in and answer your questions. Oh, we have one. We got one.
We do. So I just wanted to go through this one because I think it's really relevant. And Rich is asking, will co-op funds be paid out if not used if it's under that $10,000 threshold? So if it's under the 10K, Ashley, what happens? Does it actually split or does it get paid out?
If you did not meet that $10,000 threshold in the January through June earning period of this year, it's automatically paid out and it's not done in a 60-40 split. So it's 100% rebate. And apologies, I just lost my screen. So give me one. Okay, there we go. It just all went black. Can you guys still see my screen?
We sure can. Okay,
perfect. I just wanted to make sure of that. Okay, I can't see myself for you guys, but I can see the presentation. So we'll just keep jumping in. Was that the only question, Kristen?
Yes, ma'am. We're answering some on the back end, but that one was, we had a couple, so I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, perfect. All right, we're going to jump on in. So earning solution designations, right? We know that there's a lot of skilling that has to go into this, and we now know that not every solution designation covers all cloud workloads, or you may need also some certifications for those legacy competencies. So I'm really excited to talk about Microsoft Cloud Week. If you're not familiar with Cloud Week, it's an amazing opportunity, so please sign up as soon as possible. The links are also in the newsletter for each of the workloads. But Cloud Week is an opportunity where you can sit in with Microsoft, and they do Microsoft hosted sessions with Microsoft certified trained instructors that go through and teach you everything you need to know for a certification to pass that exam. So again, you don't need to send your employees to a company and pay a fee for them to learn the information. Cloud Week is free, and it's an opportunity to get trained by Microsoft themselves. So again, please check this out. The dates are listed here. So Azure is happening this week. So hopefully there's time to still jump into that, but we just want to make sure that you're taking advantage of all the opportunities that Microsoft puts out there that you get with your Microsoft partner membership. The next one, so CSP legacy seat migration. So this is not a new announcement, but something we want to continue to talk about. So starting November of this year, so 2 months from now, Microsoft's going to be releasing public sector products on New Commerce Experience. So that's the academic, government, and nonprofit. Those offers will have a New Commerce Experience equivalent, and you can start purchasing new subscriptions on New Commerce Experience or start migrating your legacy if you would like to. This is your own option. You're not forced to do so quite yet in that November timeframe. But starting January, Microsoft's going to start doing an automatic migration of all legacy offers. That is commercial and that public sector. What they'll do is when your subscription comes up for renewal, so every subscription, even if you're paying monthly, does have an annual renewal date. That's the day and month in which you first purchase that subscription. If you're not familiar with that day and month, we do have that listed in your subscriptions field in the Pax8 marketplace, so go ahead and check that out. They will start to move those subscriptions over on that date, and they will maintain the same billing plan and seat count when they do that. Just note here that even if you are paying monthly, there is an annual date. So it is going to be an annual commitment with a monthly billing option. And that's the biggest thing I think for partners to really understand. It is not going to be that month-to-month subscription that you're used to. Additionally, I bolded this, but it's white and it's probably hard to see the boldedness, but subscriptions tied to one another will all move on the first subscription transition date. So say you have a business premium, and I mean, it's not going to make sense, but let's go with it, and a calling plan tied together. And when like your business premium moves over to New Commerce Experience, your calling plan will also move with it because legacy and NCE don't talk to each other. So it's really important to understand that if you have subscriptions that are tied to one another, base and add-ons, they will all move on the first transition date. So whatever subscription has the earliest transition date. Additionally, partners will have 7 days following the migration to make any changes. So you can go in and you can cancel if you need to change your commitment or billing term, you need to decrement seats, whatever you may need. So just know that you'll have a 7-day window, same as the NC policy today. And then if you do your own partner-led migration, meaning you're moving the seats from legacy to NCE yourselves, and you do choose that month-to-month option, those month-to-months will incur a 20% premium. So this is something new, right? Legacy pricing for, public sector and government and nonprofit. Sorry, give me just 2 seconds.
It looks like Ashley's dogs just want to be a part of our monthly update.
They do. Week. They just kept bringing me the ball, and no matter as much as I threw it, or took it away, they just want to play.
Working from home.
My dog has figured out
go ahead,
how to
Ashley,
open the door too. So he knows how to go and put his nose on the door. We have to get locks installed, I think. So apologies for that. He just is usually well behaved, and today he just doesn't want to be. He wants to play ball. Okay. So what we're saying is if you do go ahead and you do your own partner-led migration and you move your subscriptions from legacy to NCE on your own, and you do choose that month-to-month commitment, they will incur a 20% premium. So want to call that out because these are discounted prices for these subscriptions. However, they will see that incurred cost. All right, we're going to move on. All right.
So
Ashley, we have Kristen, there's a question.
Yeah, before you get too far out of the information that came from incentives and rebates, I do want to call this one out because Yeah, I didn't want you to have to flip back too far for me. So this question says, I was a silver partner previously and then couldn't renew and was working on the designations, but now they can see silver again. They're wanting to just understand the Microsoft changes. So it looks like this person did not renew their silver partner designation that they had previously. Competency, that's the word, silver competency previously. How long do they have if they want to renew to silver to make sure they're still getting these rebates?
Yeah, so want to call out that if you are eligible today, it will show up in Partner Center and you'll have an option to renew one of those legacy competencies if you meet the criteria. And so you want to do so before September 30th. So that way you're starting to earn as of October 1st in the new earning period. So, you know, and here's the thing, if you've been working towards those solution designations, you most likely are going to be eligible for a legacy competency. So if you haven't been checking in Partner Center because this is something that you have been like, I don't really qualify, I'm not checking my partner capability score, go in today and check, because if you are eligible today, it gives you the option to purchase today and then start earning on October 1st.
Okay, so they only have until the end of this month to get that purchased, and then they would actually earn through FY24. So if they're not qualified for the designations, but they are qualifying for the silver or gold, would you recommend them go ahead and move forward with the silver and gold? I know that's something that we were giving a lot of feedback to Microsoft on.
Yep. So the costs associated with each, right? The gold and the solution partner designations that's poor grammar, did cost the same. So just know that. And so with this, the silver package, Microsoft hasn't released pricing on what the designation would, what the competencies would cost you. But if anything, it's one of those things that if you want to continue to earn incentives and rebates, go in and go through that purchasing motion if you are eligible, and make sure you do that before October 1st, so that way you have the maximum purchasing potential. I can't tell you if the competencies are the same cost as before. The documentation just says that you have to purchase the competency. So when you walk through Partner Center, it will tell you what the cost is associated with that. But again, a little bit easier to be able to earn incentives and rebates going into this year.
Excellent, excellent. I've got one more question, and it's not regarding this specific topic, but they are asking, are there plans for Microsoft to increase the GCC GCC and nonprofit pricing other than the 20% month to month? I know that they were working through some commercial price adjustments not long before NCE, so they just want to make sure that they don't have any of those increases that they need to communicate down to partners, or to end customers.
So as of right now, Microsoft has not released any specific pricing increases on the public sector offers going into this seat-based migration in January. However, Microsoft always does have the opportunity to increase pricing at any time. And so if they do so, they will do so via Partner Center announcement, and then we'll make sure everybody is aware. But from what we hear from Microsoft, as of right now, pricing will stay the same. It's only going to be those month-to-month prices that are commitments that will incur a premium. I wouldn't even say a price increase, it's a premium. Additionally, with that, if you are sitting in a region that has been recently affected by a foreign exchange rate increase or decrease, just know that those will hit your subscription at the renewal, or when you move to, if you do move to New Commerce Experience early. We'll talk about that in a couple slides down, but I do want to call that out as well. But if it's okay, we'll move on. So GDAP. So we've been talking about GDAP, it feels like, for the past year. And the only thing that I really want to call on this slide specifically that's new for partners to understand, if you're not aware, is that starting September 25th, so 2 weeks from today, only GDAP creation is allowed. So you will no longer be able to create DAP relationships. And so that's something that in our platform is going to be enforced and Microsoft is because Microsoft's enforcing it. So know that today, if you are still creating DApp relationships for your customers, Microsoft is in the process of moving those DApp relationships to GDApp and leaving those DApps on for 30 days. They've been in this process for the past couple of months, but starting September 25th, only GDApp creation is allowed. So that will be enforced in the Pax8 platform between Pax8 and the end customer, and then it'll also be enforced between you and the end customer in your partner center. If you have any questions, again, this information is included in the newsletter and also be provided in Academy. We have a whole GDApp Academy course, so make sure you check that out if you're not familiar with it. But hopefully you are, because security is top of mind, and we want to make sure that partners are set up for success when it comes to these security changes to the customer accounts. All right, so FX rates. So this is what I was talking about. So there was a global pricing adjustment in Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, and Canada that went into effect on September 1st, so about 2 weeks ago for our partners. And again, this is for new subscriptions or subscriptions that hit their renewal. So that's legacy and NCE and all workloads. So this is part of Microsoft's attempt to really, stabilize pricing in all currencies to be at the current rate in which Microsoft bills in USD. With that, right, so if you back to the, hey, will my subscriptions see a price increase for public sector when we move to NCE? So when you move to NCE, you'll always be subject to the most current price, because a transition to NCE from legacy is a new subscription ID. So if it's you doing it early, that's when you'll see the price increase. And then if you wait for Microsoft to do the transition, that will be at the renewal. So obviously subject to a price increase. If you're an EMEA partner who's tuning in, you guys went through a price increase on April 1. So just want to call out, with high renewal season happening in January, February, and March of NCE, you guys will also most likely see those pricing increases for your FX adjustment that happened at those renewals. So don't want to forget about you guys either. It's really important to understand what is happening with your subscriptions and what are you being billed and charging your end customers. So again, please check out this information in the newsletter. Again, happens at your renewal or new purchase, new subscription ID. And with that, we want to make sure that you guys are aware of how to adjust your retail prices in the Pax8 marketplace. So per the Pax8 agreement, we do not touch your retail pricing. And the reason for this is you as the customer have the opportunity to set your price for the, you as the partner have the opportunity to set the price for your end customer, whether you want to extend them some margin, you want to bundle services and charge them one flat fee, right? So we do not adjust pricing for you guys, but we do make it have some tools to help you adjust pricing yourself when you need to in the platform. And you can either do it on a subscription level, so you can go in by the subscription and adjust the price when a subscription sees a price increase, or you can do so by using our rate plan adjustment tool, and this will allow you to set pricing on the product level. So for your business premium, if you know that there's going to be a price increase on business premium, then you can go in and you can say, okay, I'm going to adjust the pricing on the business premium to be at the current retail price. And then anytime a subscription renews for business premium across your customer profiles, that price will carry over and will automatically adjust for you. So again, this will really affect partners when it comes to NCE renewals, right? Because most likely there's going to be some sort of price adjustment for customers on those products. And then also if you're impacted by the foreign exchange rates that have been launched either in April 1st or most recently September 1st. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware of how to go in and change your pricing and why Pax8 does not. You can export all of your subscriptions in a CSV and see their renewal date, so that can help you plan, as well as we have the NCE tracker that's live in the tools section of our marketplace as well, so you can track to see what's up and coming for renewal. Any adjustment that is made to a subscription, so a pricing adjustment, anything, it will cause a break in the PSA sync if you're using a PSA tool. So all subscriptions should be resynced if they're going through a pricing adjustment, just to make sure that the pricing is carrying over into your PSA. And then if a renewal happens mid-month, so say you have a price increase that happened today on this 11th of September, we've already billed you for the month of September. So we do for modern, we're all seat-based offers, so Modern Workplace and Dynamics, it's, we bill you at the first of the month. And so what happens here is on your October invoice, you would see the prorated amount for the seat increase, price increase on your subscription, plus the full month, because we do bill ahead for those seats. And then the following invoice, that would be your November invoice, your pricing will stable out and be the price that it should be every month. So this is also something that catches partners off guard when they do see an increased amount on their invoice, and in their PSA sync, they're, hey, why am I getting charged more? It's not, it's because we didn't bill you for the prorated amount ahead of time because you haven't, maybe you haven't purchased those subscriptions yet at the higher price. So the month following your renewal will always have a prorated amount, and then the second month following your renewal is when your invoice will stabilize. Yeah. All right, this is just a reminder. So if you're on Teams Rooms devices and have Teams Room licensing on September 30th, all Teams Rooms devices must be licensed with either Basic or Pro. So this was a SKU change that happened earlier this year. This was supposed to go into effect on July 1, but Microsoft did extend the transition period to September 30th. So just know if you're not licensing your Teams Rooms devices properly, you'll need to do so in order to your customers to have services on October 1st. We don't want anybody locked out. Teams Rooms do come with Basic for free. It's $0 SKU, and it can be just assigned in the admin center, so you don't need to worry about purchasing that. But if you do need more functionality than what the Basic SKU offers, Pax8 does sell Teams Room Pro in our platform, and you can go ahead and buy that either on a month-to-month or annual commitment. It is on an NCE commitment, so just know that. I promise we're getting through it. We're almost at the end. This is for our Europe partners only. So Microsoft did announce earlier this month that they will separate Teams from the Office 365 and M365 suites as of October 1st. And so there will be an opportunity on October 1st to be able to purchase Microsoft 365 or Office 365 at a discounted rate if you do not need Teams for your customers. This is for new orders only, and if you have an existing NCE commitment, you can only make changes to that commitment at the renewal. If you're still on Legacy, you're able to do that at any time because Legacy is that flexible option. So just know that we will have our platform working for you to be able to transact those SKUs on October 1st. Also note that due to the time differences, Microsoft does not release the pricing sheets to us until our working day in the United States on the 1st. So if you are an EMEA partner of ours, just know that it will take us a little bit of time to upload those in US time and Mountain Standard Time. So you may not see it until the 2nd in the platform, but it is the 1st for Microsoft as they're headquartered here in the United States. All right, 2 more slides, promise. We're getting through this, and remember, everything's in that newsletter, so go check that out. So for social impact grants, there's 2 changes that are happening on October 1st. So the first one is the Azure grant that's available direct from Microsoft, so not available through CSP, will no longer be available. And so just know that it's going to have a change, and so want to make sure if you're taking advantage of that you understand what's happening. And then Dynamics 365 grant as well. Microsoft will be concluding their grant here. So if you have previously procured the grant, you will see a price increase when they renew on or after October 1st. So again, just some pricing increases here for any of those grant offers that you currently have. And then last but not least, been talking a lot about that newsletter, right? Where do I get the newsletter? How do I get notified of the newsletter? So this is something that I'm really passionate about. Pax8 has, this is a Pax8 feature, not a Microsoft feature, but Pax8 has launched what's called the platform inbox. And this allows you as the partner to set up who gets messages in your company, and really kind of when do you want to get a message into your work email versus just in your Pax8 inbox. So make sure that you're signed up for inbox and you have your settings configured so you can stay up to date on all of the Microsoft things. Our newsletter does get emailed out once per month to primary partner admins, and it does go out via email, via inbox, but just know that anybody in your company who is not a primary partner admin can access the newsletter via that link that we dropped in the chat. That link is static, it always stays, and you can see the previous newsletters from before, so you can bookmark it, save it, and just know that we release the newsletter the first Thursday of every month, as long as all goes well. And so know that you can check it without getting the email, and you can just refresh that link. Kristen came on camera, so that means you guys have some questions, I'm sure, right?
Yes, ma'am. All right. So Matt is asking, when you create a reseller relationship now, it has a check mark to also create the DAP at the same time. Will there be a way to create GDAP at the same time as the reseller? Right now, it's two different links and two different two different processes to create DAP in the reseller relationship.
Yeah, so DAP and the reseller relationship will always remain separate. So right now, Microsoft allows you to continue to do that DAP in our platform. We do have the GDAP as a encouraged setup, but you can still create that DAP as well. On the 25th of September, it's going to change to GDAP only, and so the process is going to remain as you experience it today. If you're creating DAP, it's just going to be GDAP instead, because DAP will no longer be valid. But reseller relationship is always going to be something that's completely separate, so it's going to be two separate links. The reason for that is the reseller relationship allows us to sell licenses and provision licenses into the end customer tenant, and that's all, right? GDAP allows us to have modified or controlled access into the customer tenant to provide things like support, to provide things like I'm going to say provisioning happens immediately as well through that reseller relationship. So the GDAP really just allows us to provide you any tools and services that you need when it comes to that white glove service in that tenant. And again, our GDAP relationships that we do request with the customer and the ones that Microsoft adopted are really restrictive. It's supposed to provide be like the least level where we can do everything that we need in order to support. And Pax8 was a champion of GDAP with Microsoft, and we were the ones that influenced what relationships indirect providers should have and what relationships indirect resellers should have as well. And know that if at any time your customer has an issue with any sort of access, those relationships can be terminated and reissued based on a role-by-role level. So also know that even though they're transitioned by Microsoft and they're there, you still have full control with your customer over the access into the end customer tenant.
Excellent. So we have one from Daryl, and it's asking about the team separation. Is that going to be happening in the UK, or is it specific to Switzerland?
It's man, and I don't know what the acronym EAA stands for yet, but it's EAA in Switzerland. So apologies for not understanding exactly what countries are part of that EAA conglomerate, but it's EAA in Switzerland.
Perfect. And then one last one for you, Ashley, and we'll go on over to Josh. Where are the Pax8 inbox settings at?
Yeah, so I'm going to actually just go back real quick, one slide if we don't mind. So give me a second.
Hey, Josh, can you go back one slide? I know we have you sharing your screen.
Now. Sorry.
No, we were just getting ready.
Sneaky, Josh. I mean, seamless. Okay, so if you go into over here in like the top I say over here and you can't see my mouse either. So in the top right hand corner, there's like supposed to be like a little mail icon. And if you click on that, that will take you to your inbox and then you can configure your settings. You also can go through the tools section as well. So there's two different ways. It's on the screen, it's circled on or off. They're already in the settings where they can toggle, like they're in the message history, so they can toggle inbox on or off. But when you're looking at this from just when you first log into the Pax8 marketplace with your credentials, where that red circle is actually going to be a little envelope icon, and click on that.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Thanks so much, Ashley. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I know that Ashley will be around. We'll be answering those as we go, as well as we also have a live Q&A at the end. So please make sure if you have any of those, drop them in. But as always, your channel account teams and anybody is always available for you that you can reach out to directly. All right,
Thanks, everybody.
Josh. Oh, yes, ma'am. Josh, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up, though.
It's a lot of
amazing
content.
update, Ashley. That was a lot. Woo! Great job, Ashley. But like Kristen said, my name is Joshua Dunham, and I am the Senior Modern Work Programs Manager here for the Americas. And as you can see, we are going to cover Government Community Cloud. And in case you haven't known, this program was built to meet the enhanced security and requirements for the U.S. government. Let's dive right on in. So what is AOSG? Well, it is a program that enables government and commercial organizations the ability to purchase Microsoft government high licenses from an authorized Microsoft partner. That is key. Now you're probably wondering, what are some of the benefits of these government licenses? First off, you have all of the access and features and capabilities of Microsoft 365. Keep that in mind, all of that. On top of that, your content is logically segregated from the customer content in the commercial Microsoft 365 service from Microsoft. So again, that information is separated, and all of that information is stored within the United States. So it is here local. Now, access to your organization's customer content is restricted to pre-screened Microsoft personnel, right? So only those authorized individuals can go in and get that information. And then Microsoft 365 government, so that's GCC, GCC High, DoD, Department of Defense, all of it complies with certifications and accreditations that are required for US public sector customers. Now, let's talk about some of the compliance requirements for these government licenses, right? So they're a little bit different than the commercial, right? We definitely know that they need more compliance, more security, but this graph does a really great job of just kind of breaking down the compliance requirements. As you can see, we do kind of showcase M365 commercial, right? There are some compliance there, but it's not until we dive into that GCC, GCC High, and then Department of Defense that we really start diving into those extra security features that are going to be required to transact those licenses. So when we talk about Microsoft Government, maybe GCC, that's more CSP transacted, right? Those are going to be your federal, state, local governments, maybe tribes, DIB. Those are going to be your defense industrial base. So think about Department of Defense, any kind of products they need to order, materials, supplies. FFRDC, those are going to be your federally funded research and development organizations. So think about Aerospace Corporation, MIT, Carnegie Mellon. Those type of organizations, again, need higher security, right, to stay compliant. And then lastly, UARC. So that is going to be University Affiliated Research Center. So again, think about UT Austin, Research Labs, Johns Hopkins, Physical Labs. So if you're supporting any of those organizations, guess what? They are government, right? And they're going to need a lot more enhanced compliance. So that's why a lot of them, you're seeing the FedRAMP, right? The Federal Risk Authorization Management Program, standardized approach to security, right? Standardized approach to security. GCC, GCC High, and DoD all have that, right? Also think about the cybersecurity maturity model, right? The CMMC, the certification that is needed, right? Again, to support those higher end organizations within the government, or even the CUI, controlled unclassified information. So again, if you are supporting these three types of government organizations, this is why it's so key for them to stay compliant, right? We want to make sure that they are secure, because again, the information that they're holding onto, the type of work they do, they can't have a data breach, right? So again, super excited to talk about government licenses at Pax8. And now that you're excited to start transacting within the government space, how do you go about getting started? Well, first off, after determining that your customer requires any kind of Microsoft 365 government licensing, the customer can apply through the government validation through the Microsoft by filling out the Microsoft Government General Validation Form. Say that one more time. Customers can apply through the government validation. Again, this all goes through Microsoft, through the Microsoft Government General Validation Form. Now, before ordering these, be sure that you and your customer take the time to really carefully review the admin and security settings before you start modifying anything in the admin portal, right? It's very, very important that we keep their security settings at top of mind, and that consider any impacts consider impacts on compliance before you make any changes to the default security settings, right? So just check, double check, triple check anytime you're doing anything with those security settings in the admin portal. Now, due to the compliance requirements of government cloud, it is important to be aware of the limitations of each of the government products. So many of the applications and services may have restrictions on certain features. So again, just keep that in mind. All right, now let's talk about ordering GCC High through Pax8. Well, first off, you must register for the licenses to be unlocked. That is key, right? This request can actually go through your channel account manager or your productivity solution consultant. And those are the individuals that are your modern work and dynamics rock stars. Now, once you see the product in the platform, well, guess what? You can actually go through and start processing that order. Now, if this is your first time placing an order, you'll need your customer's tenant. You will need to add a little bit of information. First off, you need to add the enrollment SKU. So this is going to be the Microsoft Agreement for Online Services Government, AOSG, enrollment. Say that 5 times fast, right? So this will ensure that there's an enrollment assigned to the tenant, right? Very key, you need the enrollment so you can activate the tenant. This SKU cannot be purchased by itself, right? And it has to be purchased alongside a qualified eligible GCC High license for the initial transaction. Now, during the checkout process, you will be asked for partner contact and customer information. This is the most important step, right? Because this information that we are getting from you, this is how Microsoft is going to communicate all of those activation emails, all the links, and all the next steps to get GCC High up and running, right? So again, it is key that when we get your information and your customer's information, it is the correct email, the correct info, right? Again, this is how Microsoft is going to communicate to all of you regarding the creation of the tenant. Now, you will also be required to attach the GCC High customer approval email that Microsoft sends out before making your first order. And then after you place your order, it takes about 3 to 5 business days while it provisions. Once completed, Microsoft will send out a series of emails with the next steps. Again, that's why that step 3 was so important. Make sure you have the proper contact information in, right? So you get that communication from Microsoft. Also, by registering for a new work or school account, you will be using the customer email address provided in step 4. This will be needed to an existing address and will not be linked to the new tenant. All right, a lot of information there, I know. Sweet. Let's talk about support that we have for GCC High licenses. So as of right now, Pax8 support is a little bit limited, and it's kind of narrowed down to transactional support due to the restrictions of GCC High tenants. So if support is needed before a tenant provisioning, please submit a Pax8 support ticket, and I want big cap letters, GCC High support in the body of it, right? That'll let us know exactly what the issue is. Now, examples of Pax8 Marketplace support that we can offer: Marketplace checkout process support, right? troubleshooting process before a GCC High tenant is provisioned? How about returning and refunding license within the Microsoft return cancellation process? Now, some areas that Pax8 isn't able to support is GCC High tenant issues or troubleshooting. If you are having issues like this, we please open a support ticket with the admin portal of the GCC High tenant, or call the Microsoft Office 365 US government support number at 1-877-966-7787. Or if you're approval or you need customer validation, you can always reach out to Microsoft directly too at usgcce@microsoft.com. And don't worry, we'll be sharing that information in the chat as well. I know I covered a lot of information about government cloud licensing. Were there any questions?
We answered a couple on the back end, but it looks like we should be good to go. But Josh, just to clarify, GCC High licenses are for which specific region?
It's going to be for the US region.
US only. Okay,
US
perfect.
only.
I just wanted to make sure. All right. Thank you so much, Josh. I know
Thank
that
you.
he'll be around for questions, so continue to put those in the chat. But we are going to go over to Britton. Good morning, Britton.
Good morning. Can you see my slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Awesome job, Josh. Really happy to see that demystifying going on and what's available for government, and excited to continue the security conversation that we've seen through everyone's sessions in the background. All right. It's no secret that work has evolved, and it's not the same as just a few short years ago. We've seen remote work expand and change, and one thing is certain, it's not going away. Productivity has been steady or increased, and top talent seek roles with workplace flexibility, while business demands ask us to work on the go in more ways than ever before. Hey, Kristen, may I ask you if my screen is changing? It looks like it might be frozen. Is that true?
It's not. You know what? I was just wondering that as well. Let me go ahead and share mine. And I'll control them from my side. If you will just let me know what slide to go to and when.
We don't have to back up. We can join each other at 23 if you want.
All right.
Thanks so much. I appreciate the support.
Yes, ma'am.
Not sure what's happening there. But right here, we acknowledge so are the challenges we face. So perfect time. SMBs specifically face many challenges related to this quickly changing landscape. So we see accelerated growth of apps, devices, and users across and outside of the corporate network. New types of users, not just employees, but also partners, suppliers, distributors, customers, and now even digital workloads or chatbots. And all of those user types want to be able to access any app or resource that may need to be productive from anywhere at any time and through any device. Digital attack surface grows exponentially for that very reason. So in the last year, we can say we saw a 300% increase in identity-related attacks through Microsoft Graph reporting. Phishing, ransomware, and malware have all been on the rise, including regulatory bodies that introduce new requirements on data security and privacy that is there to help protect individuals from potential misuse and their compromise of personal data. But it does continue to make the landscape ever changing. So which of these priorities might feel familiar for your customers? And do they feel like competing priorities? Oftentimes, the hardest part is balancing multiple competing priorities, reducing costs, increasing efficiency, adding security, improving the user experience. If you can click through for me, Kristen. It's enough to make any technology partner ask themselves, how do we keep up? And we'll move forward here. At Pax8, we recommend a proactive approach, developing a zero trust strategy before an attack arises, ensuring that risk conversations don't begin after the breach. A zero trust model is a proactive, integrated approach to security across all of the layers of the digital landscape that explicitly and continuously verifies every transaction, asserts least privilege access, and relies on intelligence, advanced detection, and real-time response to threats. A zero trust strategy may seem complex if you think about the entire architecture and configuration, but the essence of the approach is simple. It follows 3 core principles. Verify explicitly. You don't know what you don't know. Always make security decisions using all of the available data points, including identity, location, device health, resources, data classifications, and anomalies. Use least privilege access. Limit access with just-in-time and risk-based adaptive policies. Reduce or eliminate standing privileges. Assume breach. Minimize the blast radius with microsegmentation, end-to-end encryption, monitoring, and automated threat detection and response. Next slide. Because the fact is that basic and repeatable security hygiene across your customers' environments can still protect against 98% of attacks. And now we're going to take the deep dive. But before going deeper, let's examine the connection between securing access across identities and endpoints and a holistic zero trust architecture. So this is an example of technical architecture for a zero trust framework. It extends to the entire digital estate: identities, endpoints, data, apps, infrastructure, and network. It should also be integrated via critical cross-workload capabilities. A dynamic zero trust policy should include pervasive threat protection that relies on telemetry, threat intelligence, and analytics across each workload. In designing a zero trust journey towards this reference architecture, you can start with any pillar depending on the business needs. But the most common approach that we see, and we are happy to guide in, is starting a zero trust rollout with a strong foundation in secure identities and endpoints. Identity attacks are on the rise, and over 80% of breaches start with stolen credentials. At the same time, proliferation of bring your own device policies create new and additional challenges. So let's dive further. Because luckily, with Microsoft 365, we can access the entire toolkit for a comprehensive zero trust strategy to begin. The SMB Hero Suite, Microsoft 365 Business Premium, includes a core identity product in Entra ID P1, a device management product like Intune, and powerful endpoint security from Microsoft Defender for Business. We'll click through into Entra. I say it differently each time. Entra ID P1 offers a comprehensive identity and access management solution. So it is including a broad range of capabilities. And this really does solve for most modern access issues like user directory, single sign-on, self-service, multi-factor and passwordless authentication, conditional access and identity protection, hybrid identity management, core identity governance, and external and frontline identities. There are also additional identity products coming forward from Entra that can help you to dive a little bit deeper for very sensitive customers and companies that have unique needs. Look forward to how we will bring that forward to you in the coming months. But we'll also briefly explore the Defender for Business aspect of Business Premium. So, MDB has 5 major pillars of value that it's providing to you as a partner and to your customers. Threat and vulnerability management. This helps you prioritize and focus on the weaknesses that pose the most urgent and highest risk to your business. Discovering, prioritizing, and remediating software vulnerabilities and misconfigurations will help you proactively build a security foundation within the environment. Attack surface reduction. Reducing your attack surface, which are the places that your company is vulnerable to an attack, across devices and applications by using capabilities like ransomware mitigation, application controls, web protection, network firewalls, and attack surface reduction rules. Next generation protection helps to prevent and protect against threats at your door with anti-malware and antivirus protection, both on devices and in the cloud. Endpoint detection and response, or EDR. Get behavioral-based detection and response alerts, allowing you to identify persistent threats and remove them from the environment. Manual response actions within Defender for Business allow you to act on processes and files, while live response will put you in direct control of a device to help you ensure that it is remediated, secured, and ready to go. And definitely last but not least, automated investigation and remediation. This helps to scale security operations by examining alerts and taking immediate action to resolve some attacks for you. And by reducing alert volume and remediating some repetitive threats, Defender for Business allows you to prioritize tasks and focus on more sophisticated threats. And moving forward, we'll talk about the best part, reminding you that Microsoft Defender for Business is included in Business Premium, and it is no additional cost. So it's enterprise security value built for the SMB customer. And with this addition to Business Premium, it really allows Business Premium to offer unparalleled comprehensive coverage, from Teams to Office to the advanced endpoint security of Defender for Business, Defender for Office 365 that protects your email and collaboration, Intune managing devices for you that are both employee or company owned, Entra ID P1 for identity protection, and so much more. It really is a great value in a simple package versus going for point solutions that can end up doubling your price in many cases. But enough about tools. Let's talk about how Pax8 can help you strengthen this. Because aside from the comprehensive toolkits you're getting from Microsoft, you get comprehensive support from us here at Pax8, from technical boot camps and labs that help you do it with me with instructor-led learning. We have estate assessments that let you learn everything you need to know about the environments that you're working in if you're looking for a tool that allows you to do it yourself. And last but not least, my favorite part is to share that our professional services team provides excellent do-it-for-me services that really show multiple customer needs the value that Pax8 brings to the partner relationship. And today, I want to highlight one that is directly related to what we've talked about. This offer is available for not only M365 Business Premium, but also E3 and E5. And it can help you secure your customers at scale through your partnership with our professional services team. Mapping Defender for Business or Defender for Office and mapping other fragments of Business Premium to CIS controls allow you to go to market with a strategy that is explicit, trusted, and repeatable. And it's no additional lift on your team. Because although we understand that the zero trust strategy is key and important, it takes us steps to get there as partners that are building this out as your own business practice. So let Pax8 help in that regard. We can step in, provide these services, and allow you a scalable security offer to get things in motion, to be a thought leader in the security space like so many of you vocalize wanting to do in this very, very secure focused day and age. And last but not least, we'll touch a little bit deeper on the details of the service. So you can see CIS notations here. This allows you to clearly communicate the security strategy behind your mapping to both your teams and to your customers. And I'd like to share before we wrap up that for users in the North American market, there is currently a first come, first serve funding program for this premium configuration offer. So if it sounds like a right fit for you and you would like to discuss that opportunity with us to see if that funding offer in North America is right for you, please reach out to your CAM or your productivity consultant to ask what this offer is all about, and we can see if it fits for you. And if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to pass it on to Vanda, I think, is the next.
He sure is. Thank you so much, Britton. I love going through Business Premium because I know it's such a huge focus for us at Pax8 and for partners right now. So thank you so much for going through that in such a deep dive.
Yeah, thank you for hopping in on the glitch. I do appreciate it.
Of course, Vandit, I know that you are here to talk about some Microsoft enablement. So what do you have for us today?
Yes, thanks, Kristen. I'm really excited to go over some of our recent enablement updates and some of the releases that we've put out in the last couple weeks. So we're just going to head on and jump right into it. So just getting started in it, I want to go over a few of the things that we currently have in market. So some of these you might be familiar with, some of them you might currently engage with, but we have a variety of self-service on-demand courses through our Pax8 Academy. We have one-to-few instructor-led trainings, things like our partner enablement sessions, hands-on labs that allow you to get really technical, really focused on certain specific features across all three cloud solutions areas. And then we have one-to-few kind of paid enablement with our multi-week instructor-led trainings. These are courses done with our academy coaches where you are sitting down with them for a few weeks, going through multiple sessions and really diving deep into certain topics, things like Azure, things like business growth, operational efficiencies. And then finally, there's peer groups, which puts partners in rooms with other partners to connect, to grow together. So partners who might be in similar situations, similar growth periods, this is a great resource to connect with your peers in the ecosystem. Now, coupled with some of those current enablement offerings we also have a wide variety of in-person and virtual events for our partners. And some of the ones that are coming up, we have our monthly updates that we're on here currently. They happen every month, first Monday of every month typically. We also have our Pax8 and Microsoft boot camps that happen very regularly. Our next one coming up will actually be our Azure one, which is happening next week. We have over 800 of our partners currently signed up to attend. So if you're interested in learning more about Azure and diving deep into some of the technical features there, I highly encourage you to sign up for the Azure Bootcamp. This one coming up is going to be really good. We'll be going over a lot of Azure security features, Azure AI, and really diving deep into some of the new things coming from Inspire around Azure. Now, in addition to some of the new courses, resources that we've been releasing, I also want to give a sneak peek to some of our most asked requests and what we're currently working on for our partners. So some of the new learning resources we're working on are focused specifically for sales and technical professionals. Expect to see these new resources across all cloud solutions, and some of the highlights for me are going to be learnings around Defender for Business, diving deep there, Windows 365, and Power Platform, one of my all-time favorite solutions. Now, we don't want to just stop there. This enablement material works best when it's what our partners need. So I want to hear from everyone here on this call. If there is training content, if there's learning materials that you're looking for, drop it in the chat window. Let us know what it is you're looking for and how Pax8 can support. I'll be going through each and every single one of those requests after this call and making note of some of the top most asks to bring to life here in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what our partners have to say, what you all have to say, and what you're looking for. But while we're talking about events, enablement, what's new, one of the events that I didn't touch on the previous slide is Pax8 Momentum. Momentum is a revamped, brand new event for business leaders and technical partners. This event will sharpen the focus on translating knowledge gained from previous Pax8 events. Think boot camps, mission briefings, launch briefings, things like that. And with customized breakout sessions and an interactive approach, this event will delve deeper into key aspects to help our partners achieve their goals. So this first instance of Momentum is going to be really focused on cybersecurity and focus around the stack there. So if you're interested, please sign up. This will be happening October 10th to the 12th. It'll be happening in Denver. There will be a bunch of Pax8ers. You'll be able to connect with our sales teams in the area. So super excited about Momentum. And if you're as excited as I am, we're going to go ahead and drop the registration link in the chat window. So please get signed up today. And taking a step back from events, we're going to go into some of our new course releases and things that we've put out. So before I get into that, I wanted to start with Cloud Ascent, Microsoft Cloud Ascent. So for our partners who haven't heard, we here at Pax8 are really passionate about sharing the benefits of Cloud Ascent. Cloud Ascent data helps you maximize your sales capability with your current book of business. So with Cloud Ascent, you can find and identify common signals, common touch points that showcase that your customer might be ready for a sales conversation in the moment, or they could use additional resources to help best make a decision coming up in a sales conversation. And to help partners utilize Cloud Ascent and learn how to maximize the value out of the Cloud Ascent data, we have a fresh new course on Academy for our partners to go through. So in our Cloud Ascent course, join Matt Batterby in reviewing the benefits of Cloud Ascent. So what is Cloud Ascent, the benefits of Cloud Ascent, and how you can get started utilizing Cloud Ascent data with your own partner-ready resources to help identify potential opportunities and the financial impact you have on your business. And one of the cool things from this course is actually this Excel document right here, which will let you dive deep, plug in your own Cloud Ascent data, and gives you a quick way to visualize what are some of the open opportunities you can have, what's the financial impact, and then how you can get after that today. And that'll be across all 3 cloud solution areas. So really excited about this Cloud Ascent course. I want everyone here, if you haven't taken it yet, hop in, give us some feedback, let us know how it goes. And if there is any feedback, please let us know. Always excited to make these courses bigger, better, and more in line with what everyone here is looking for. So while we're talking about new courses, another one I want to bring up is our Why Microsoft One Cloud course. So the benefits of Microsoft One Cloud, this is the Pax8 methodology behind transacting all 3 major Microsoft solution areas and how each of those solutions help promote each other inside of the ecosystem. This course will take you through the potential opportunity of being a well-versed Microsoft partner and how you can provide value to your customers by deploying custom solutions, combining tools across all 3 cloud solution areas. Again, you'll be joining Matt Batterby as he dives deep into the financial impact of selling all 3 clouds, why it's such an area of opportunity for partners, and how you can get started on that journey today. And then lastly, to close out our enablement discussion today, close out everything we've talked about new, I'm excited to announce the launch of our Microsoft Hub inside of Pax8 Academy. This has been over a year in the making, and I'm thrilled to share that the Microsoft Hub is live today for partners to access anywhere Academy is available. The Microsoft Hub is your one-stop shop for all of our enablement resources, whether that be self-service courses, resource documents, whether you want to review webinars such as this and the presentations that come along with it, whether you want to sign up for demystifications. We'll be bringing hands-on labs and things here next. And while we've just launched this hub, while it's full of the resources that are here currently, this isn't the end. This is a resource that we'll be working on constantly updating and adding new enablement materials to showcase the latest and most relevant learning content out there for you in your growth journey. I encourage everyone to jump into the Microsoft Hub today, start your learning journey, start playing around, sign up for some courses, start working through it at your own pace, and we'll be dropping that link in this chat window here shortly. But I think with that, I'm going to pass it back to Kristen to close us out, go over some of our other upcoming events coming up. So I'm going to toss it back to you, Kristen.
All right, good stuff. People are posting some of the things they want to see in future Academy sessions and things in the chat. So I've noted some of those down, but you might want to take a look as well, Bandit. So good stuff.
Thank you so much. I'll be hopping in there right now.
All right. I do need to talk about Beyond 2024. We talked a lot about this past year. I am so excited for 2024. If you attended 2023, you know it was incredible, from the sessions delivered, from the networking to the after parties. I mean, the whole thing was incredible. Now, I want to call this out right now because registration is already open. I see this event selling out, people. So if you want to go ahead and get pre-registered, there is early bird pricing until the end of this year. It is at $299. So please make sure you go in, you register early, save a few dollars, but you're also reserving that seat. I don't want you to want to go and it be sold out. So please make sure you go and you check that out soon. Bandit talked a lot about enablement, and there's a lot of different enablement paths. Ashley even talked about something that's direct from Microsoft for Microsoft Cloud Weeks. There's a lot of different avenues you can take, but I do want to call it hands-on labs, and this is specific to North America right now. We will be expanding these into other regions here soon, so I'm really excited about that. But these are free to you as partners, and you jump into the environment, you actually get hands on your keyboard. We've got people in there to answer your questions as you go. And as Bandit talked about, we're really focusing on that one cloud methodology and being able to help you skill from maybe just selling modern work to maybe selling modern work and Azure, and then maybe modern work and Dynamics through the P2P motion. Now, please make sure you check these out. They're free to you, and they have provided a great value to some of the other partners based on some feedback. All right. We talk a lot about these resources. I know that this is a very full slide. There's a lot of stuff that goes into these. We do like to just make sure that you have all of the links if you want to take a screenshot. Otherwise, it will be available to you in our Academy afterwards. Now, I want to go through and see if we had any other questions. Let's see, Bandit. I know that we saw some of those different questions coming through for Academy.
Yes.
Are those ones that we'll be able to hopefully add into what we're developing in the future, or is there any that maybe are already in the works?
Yes, so there are a couple I was just scrolling through. I saw a request for Azure Virtual Desktop. That's a hot ask, so that's definitely something that we have on our radar. I also saw Copilot. This one's really cool, really passionate about this one and all of the new AI features Microsoft is coming out with. So with that, stay tuned. We're actually working on a getting started with AI course that should be live before the end of this year, and we'll be looking at more Copilot content to follow soon after that. So really excited about all the new AI stuff.
And I mean, if you watched, if you watched Inspire, they said AI 203,000 times. I don't know. It was a lot. So we know that that is going to be a huge focus here. So really excited to make sure that we are continuing to update there. All right, Ashley Moretti, I knew that we weren't going to get too far without having a programs question. So, as far as the trailing 12 months go, I know that we talked about that going to $25,000. What was it previously, and what does that transition mean for some of our partners? And like when you talk about trailing 12 months, is it from today back, or is it during the Microsoft fiscal year? I think that you are on mute. Oh no.
What? I'm
Got
here.
you. Okay,
Got
good.
you. Yeah, I think somebody muted me on accident.
Oh no.
So the way that trailing 12 months works is from the moment you're going to apply for the designation or the competency. So if you go do it today, it's 12 months back, or if you go wait till October, it's 12 months back, right? So it's from the moment of purchase or eligibility. So that can fluctuate month to month. So it's something to be aware about. I believe previously it was 10,000 trailing 12 months, but I could be corrected on that. But it is an increase, and so with this, the reason is Microsoft made it easier from an attainment perspective due to the certifications, the net customer adds, right, those deployments that partners said we don't qualify because our customer size does not meet that criteria, or I don't have enough people in my company to actually meet the skilling requirements of a solution designation. So because of that, they brought the legacy competencies back, but increased the threshold on the revenue to make it still an exclusive program that you have to qualify for in order to earn the incentives and rebates.
All righty. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Ashley. Britton, I think we have one final question that I'm going to kick over to you. And we've talked a lot about Copilot, right? And so, of course, the looming question that always comes after is, when can we get our hands on it? But I also want you to call out, what SKUs do you need to be on to actually have this attach as well?
Those are great questions. And I understand that lots of people want to be like, when can I be in it? But the truth is yes, there's a lot of way to go before even being in the SKU of Copilot for each of these solutions would be the right choice. And what we want to focus on is what we can do today. So what we know is that it will either be a business standard, business premium, E3, or E5. But what we also know is, of course, with the security editions in Business Premium, E3 and E5, that those are the ones that Pax8 definitely recommends and endorses to make sure that your users are protected as they move forward into this AI era. But right now, all we have is the M365 Copilot list price, and then we have an ETA. So Microsoft has not given us final dates for these things to hit the general available market. There are some paid users working with M365 Copilot now, but we will keep you informed as it goes forward.
Excellent, excellent. All righty. Thank you so much, Britton. We covered a lot of content today. This will be available to everybody moving forward. If you need to go back or rewatch a certain section, I know that programs in particular, there's always a lot of changes. So reach out to your account teams if you have questions. We do these every single month for you as partners. In addition, we're going to be adding a lot of stuff to Academy. You've got your Azure Bootcamp coming up. We do a YouTube series called Technically Unraveled that's Microsoft focused every single Thursday. Lots of content coming your way. Just depends how you would like to intake that. But with that, we're going to close out this week. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.